if you look at those websites, the quality ones are investing in their content, their backlinks, and their tech, the tech on the website. So I like to use this tool called BuiltWith. What it does is it shows you how much money is the website spending on its tech. Let's say it's spending like $5,000. I've seen a correlation. The higher the number as reported by BuiltWith, the higher is the legitimacy of the website, at least in terms of I do in fact see that it is a real company. I've seen this correlation by going through like hundreds of websites. So what I did was I did a small scale study where I studied a lot of website of 1,000 websites for 10 different keywords. And what I noticed is I set the threshold at $120 per year as the tech spend. And I noticed that websites that had a tech spend of less than $120, they ranked average position of 62. And the websites that had a tech spend of more than $120, they had an average position of 51. So there was a 11-point difference on average. So that gives us some idea that yes, websites that do spend more, they are also probably investing in their content and backlinks. So you like if you're thinking as an investor while buying a link, you want to be on a website that's investing in itself.
I'm John Wright, and you're listening to Affiliate BI, the business intelligence and affiliate marketing podcast brought to you by Snapstrap.
And I think if you're good to go, let me know.
Yeah, we're good to go.
Welcome to the Affiliate BI podcast. Today we're chatting with Shaurya Jain, who's the founder of HerculeanSEO.com. And we've known each other for quite some time, going way back, meeting in the Facebook group called the Super Cool Dan Ray White Hat Link Building. There's a couple more keywords in there, but Shaurya, welcome to the show.
Hi, John. How are you?
I'm great, and I'm happy to chat with you because it goes without saying. We've been in the link building space for a long time. I've not been living and breathing it as you have. So I know you, just before recording, we started talking about what you've been up to. So I want to pass it back to you to say, what have you been up to? And you told me that you've been pivoting back into link building. So you tried a bunch of different SaaS things, and it sounds like you've got something new to share with us.
Yeah. So I've been noticing this trend a lot that people are focusing a lot on a couple of metrics. Basically, like earlier back in the day, it was MOS GA. Now it's HRES GR. And it's I to explain how this is backfiring at us SEOs, I like to tell the story of the Cobra effect. So what's the Cobra effect? Let me first share that with you. So back in the 1800s, the Britishers were ruling India, and they saw that there was a big snake problem in the streets. Like there were too many snakes in the streets. So what they did was they introduced a reward program where every time you brought in a dead snake, you got rewarded. So people started initially like everything starts with great intentions and then it goes to shit. So people started breeding snakes just for the purpose of killing them later and then claiming the reward. So as the result of this program that was intended to reduce the number of snakes, it actually resulted in an increase in the number of snakes. So how it relates to SEO? So basically, we SEOs really reward high DR websites when it comes to link building. So whenever we see that, hey, this is a 70 DR website, people go crazy. Let's buy a link from this. It must be a really cool, strong website. If it has 5,000 traffic, let's get a link from this. But what webmasters have figured out is how to game DR and traffic. They have started like they can just go to Fiverr and order a $50 gig and just increase their DR from 20 to 70 in just 2 weeks. And same is the case with traffic. They can use bots to emulate traffic, and that shows up as real traffic in HRES. But if you look closely into the keywords they are ranking for, but they are pretty much made up keywords or like the brand name of the website, and the website is just like a random website. 3,000 people aren't searching for that website for in reality. It's just bots. Google, in fact, has a patent called, let me systems and methods for detecting click spam. Those websites are not fooling Google for sure. Google can see click spam being done via bots, both to websites and to the ads on the ad network. I'm pretty sure those websites are not in the good books of Google. And if you buy links from such websites, you are also on their naughty list. Probably if you get too many of such links. So yeah, so what I propose is a different method. Now you use different kind of metrics. Some are from different SEO tools, and some are more like you gotta dig deep, dig into the data, and then figure out like if they pass the test or not. So it's a 30-step process, but later in this podcast, I'm gonna share just eight easy and important steps with you guys so that you can at least put some of it to use right away.
I wasn't expecting that Cobra story. At first, it was like, okay, we're going to get rewarded by reducing them. But that's hilarious that it did the opposite.
Yeah.
Of course, you give someone an opportunity to game the system. This is the world of Google, especially with like building links, fake DR, link sales. Yeah, I just get annoyed all the time with all the spam that comes into my inbox going, hey, you're looking for this link. I had one where obviously we know that helpful content updates have smashed a lot of sites. So
Yeah.
sites that were actually ones you would consider buying links from have actually, in my opinion, they've disappeared because if they've lost the traffic, like I'm interested in the traffic as
Yeah.
well as that.
Yeah.
So knowing that people can fake the traffic, but let's pretend, well, what else are you looking for as signals? What are some of the things that
Mhm.
you go, okay, how am I going to know that this is a site that's worth me getting?
Yeah, that's a great question. Things that I wanted to share with your audience today. So let me start with that. One thing that I've noticed is that the quality websites, they, if you look at those websites, the quality ones are investing in their content, their backlinks, and their tech, the tech on the website. So I like to use this tool called BuiltWith. What it does is it shows you how much money is the website spending on its tech. Let's say, uh, let's say it's spending like $5,000. I've seen a correlation. The higher the number, as reported by BuiltWith, the higher is the legitimacy of the website, at least in terms of I do in fact see that it is a real company. I've seen this correlation by going through like hundreds of websites. So what I did was I did a small scale study where I studied a lot of website of 1,000 websites for 10 different keywords. And what I noticed is I set the threshold at $120 per year as the tech spend. And I noticed that websites that had a tech spend of less than $120, they ranked an average of 61 on position number 62. They had an average position of 62. And the websites that had a tech spend of more than $120, they had an average position of 51. So there was a 11-point difference on average. So that gives us some idea that yes, websites that do spend more, they are also probably investing in their content and backlinks. So you like if you're thinking as an investor while buying a link, you want to be on a website that's investing in itself.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. I've never thought about it that way where I know some of the bigger gambling affiliate sites, I know they spend a lot of money. Sometimes I don't use BuiltWith all the time, but I'll view the source code and I'll be like, what are they using? Are they
Mhm.
actually doing A/B split testing or do they have any CRO tools behind it? That actually would be very insightful for affiliate managers. If you're an affiliate manager and you've got this affiliate that says, hey, we have all this amazing traffic and they go into Ahrefs and it's all fake, I think you're going to want more signals.
Yes, yes. All right. So moving on to some other methods that affiliate managers, affiliate sites, and even like other business types should be looking at while getting links. One is you got to look at the link acquisition velocity of the website. So it must be like positive, net positive. So if you look at any website at any point of time, it's both getting more links and losing links. So if you look at the net result for the last 3 months, you can see if it's gaining links or losing links. If you understand like what I'm trying to say, that if it's as a net result, it's getting more links or is it losing more links. So you want to be on websites that is getting more links as opposed to losing more links, because you don't want to be on a sinking ship. And the sites that are losing links, especially month on month, those are sinking ships. You don't want to be on that. So that's one thing that I like to look at. And in fact, Google has a patent called document scoring based
Yes.
on link based criteria. So in this patent, what they talk about is they look at every page on a website and they mark it as stale if it's not getting any new links. So I'm assuming that they are also doing it on a domain level, that if a website is not getting new links and just losing more and more links, then it's gonna deprioritize the website in the SERPs. So that's one thing. What else? So here's a interesting fact. So most people in SEO industry, they believe that Ahrefs has the biggest backlink database. Yeah,
Maybe.
you would agree?
I
What do
think
you
they
think?
do, but I think there's a couple others that have it, and I've heard it's maybe it's not common knowledge that the backlinks that Ahrefs shows you isn't fully complete. I don't know if they actually purposely hide links because maybe they don't want people scraping them. I have no idea. Possible.
That's interesting. Because in my research, I found out this little known company, you might have probably heard about it, Link Research Tools.
Yes,
Uh
I know of
yeah,
them. I haven't used them in a long time, but yeah, Christoph Kemper.
yeah. So they have the biggest link database, and I've tested it for multiple sites, and they do have the receipts for it, for this claim. They have this proprietary metric called power into trust score. Just like Google has one, just Ahrefs has one domain rating, they have power into trust score. So power into trust score is one of the only SEO scores in the industry that is two-dimensional. Most of them are one-dimensional, DR, MOS, GA, and what else? Yeah,
SEMrush.
SEMrush. So these guys have tried to emulate the two metrics used by Google itself, or at least Google used to use those, like page rank and trust rank. Google used to have two of those metrics. So they have tried to emulate that, and they have come up with this power into trust score. So each metric, power and trust, is out of 10, and the power into trust score is out of 100. If either the power score is 0 or the trust score is 0, the net result is 0. So what I like to do is go with websites that have at least a power into trust score of 1. That means like both power and trust is at least 1 according to link research tools. Since and I like to believe that since they are totally focused on links, as their speciality of the tool is links, they don't report about keywords, they are not reporting about like how well your content is doing, they are just focused on links. I like to believe that their metric is accurately telling us about the link strength of a website. So
Yeah.
that's one thing that I like to use. Another thing that I like to look for in a website is if a website has an about us page and a privacy policy page. So in Google's search quality raters guidelines, they have specifically asked their readers to look to search for the about us page for a website, because it plays a big part in the EEAT signals of a website. And most of the websites that are built for selling links, they don't give a flying fuck about if they look legit. They are just there to increase their DR and get the traffic to a minimum threshold of 1,000 and just sell as many links as possible. And even if they have an about us page, they don't care at all about privacy policy page, because the privacy policy page, if you see, it's more of a legal requirement, and only companies that have a lot on the line, they care about complying with laws.
Okay.
People like from third world countries spinning up new websites that just want to make a quick buck. They are not scared of laws because they know no one's coming to catch them. So they don't care about having these pages. So it's easy to filter out low quality websites just built for selling links with no real business behind the websites, just by just seeing if there's a privacy policy page or not.
Yeah. Yeah, that reminds me, I've got a competitor that doesn't have a terms, conditions, or privacy policy page, but hopefully they're not watching this. Anyways, yeah,
All right. So what else? Yeah. So I was actually the next thing that I'm gonna share is I was quite surprised by this finding of mine. So I was looking at the traffic value of websites of 1200 and 1300 some websites that sell links, that I know for a fact sell links, and they all had some kind of traffic going to them, probably around minimum of 1000 traffic. And when I ran those in batch analysis in Hrefs, 629 of those had a traffic value of 0. So about half of those had a traffic value of 0. What it tells me is that these websites are not ranking for anything valuable. And I don't think if they are not ranking for anything valuable, they will be able to help you rank for anything valuable yourself. And that's what I like to believe. Yeah.
yeah, that's
So,
something I care about as well. It's if I believe the site has no traffic, like the things that I look for, and I'm sure you're probably going to say it very soon, is I care. Do they actually have a social media channel, like multiple
mhm,
channels? Are they actually active on those channels? When
mhm.
they're not active, I don't hold it against them, but a more real site will actually have legit channels.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct. Although I haven't, it's one of the steps in my 30 step process that I share with a free masterclass on my website, but I haven't included it in my list for today.
Okay.
But yes, social media is definitely one giveaway. Like I said, these guest post farms, they don't care about privacy policy page, about this page, or social media. They are just there to quickly rank their website and sell as many links as possible.
Yeah.
So that's one giveaway for sure. Yeah.
I have a quick question. One thing that I've been recommending for a bunch of gambling affiliates that are struggling to get traffic, like they're struggling to even build links because some of them don't even have a link budget. I'm recommending to them, it's not just social media, but I'm saying if you've got a channel where you can do a podcast and you've got no competition, you can be number one in that channel. And I actually think those are strong link signals. Would you say that's something else that's like one of these real signals that could actually be an indicator that hey, this site's real and Google might respect it a bit more?
Yeah. If we see, there was this interesting. So I'll share two insights that I have regarding this. First is I went to this conference in Chiang Mai in Thailand, and one of the guys over there, they shared that when you send traffic to your website from any other place other than Google, like via ads or via social media, those pages started ranking higher, and some of the pages even stick on those new rankings. So you gotta have a way, you need to have a way to send traffic to your website via something outside of Google, like doing it from a podcast makes sense. And the other thing is, uh, Moss did a study, I guess, around 1 year ago, where they have a new metric called a brand authority. So the old one is domain authority, a new one is brand authority. So they saw that websites that had a higher brand authority, they ranked better after the HCU update. Building a brand is definitely important. And how you build a brand is basically how much space are you having in a like a person's mind. So content is one of the best ways to grab a space in someone's mind. So yes, I'll definitely say that doing a podcast is very important, especially, I don't know if you suggest audio podcast, but I suggest video
Both.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Cut the
put your
audio
photos.
into because you can get 20 links in different channels. Always use them. I think most of my audience is still consuming this podcast on audio, but there's It would be a
Mhm.
crime to not do this with video.
Yes, it takes about the same amount of time and you get more reach. YouTube suggests it to the right people. Its algo is really smart.
Yeah,
So, yeah, that's why even I started this YouTube channel because I realized that YouTube is very
must have.
powerful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm, Apologies for interrupting, but I just got more questions because I think this rabbit hole we're going down is I'm super interested. So, if we're looking for realness of getting links, and we're also trying to understand that Google's looking for brand signals slash authority, would you say that newsletters are another signal? Think about top ranking websites. Usually they'd have a newsletter because they want to own their audience, they want to capture them, and they want to send that user back. So, would you say that's another strong metric? And also a smart thing to do from an SEO perspective of saying, hey, when Google sees that people are coming back, whether it's Chrome data or whatever it is, these things are like you're stacking wins here.
Yes. As long as people are coming back to the website, I would say yes, it's gonna be helpful. If it's just native in the email itself, then
Yeah.
probably not. But if they are sending the people back, I I do vaguely remember some sort of stat around this that it does help if you the more the people come back to your website, the more people search for your brand name. So yeah, you have to do it. My suggestion would be to just stick to one channel,
Channel.
be it a newsletter, be it YouTube, and just keep at it.
Okay. Yeah, there's just way too much to absorb there. But
Mm.
I actually think newsletters are like, I'm actually trying to build a tool that understands affiliate sites linking to operators. And I'm trying to go, what are the strong signals? Because we know Ahrefs can be manipulated. So I wanted to know, is this an interesting asset? Because if I'm an affiliate manager, I actually want to know that they actually have a database, because if they don't have a newsletter, they don't have socials, they don't have privacy policy,
Mhm.
everything you said makes sense. Like, how do we
Okay.
know that they're not spending extra money on the $20 a month Cloudflare plan? Don't know.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So basically, a tool to like assess the quality of the affiliate website.
Yeah, but I think there's ways of doing it. One is using third-party data, like you could use
Mm-hmm.
chefs and link research tools. But I think
Mm-hmm.
the secondary part is once you know those sites, you have to scan them. So it's like
Yeah.
building your own BuiltWith, but taking BuiltWith and going, okay, BuiltWith is just analyzing the tech stack. I need
Mm-hmm.
to know what emails are on the site. I need to know the social channels, and I need to know, do they have a newsletter? That's gold.
Okay. Yeah. More qualitative data.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Do you want me to share more?
Yeah, of course. So don't stop.
All right. All right. Let me share with you guys how to see if a website is manipulating its traffic. So you put it into Ahrefs and you go to the top pages report. Now, if you see any of the following two keywords, then the traffic is definitely being manipulated.
Yeah.
First is if it's getting a lot of brand traffic. So this website called naturaplug.com, it's a really some random blog and it just shows that it has 2400 people searching for its brand name. So if you can't like really associate if this kind of website is getting this kind of search like brand searches, if it doesn't add up, then it's being manipulated. And the other one being if there's any keyword like xyz pqrs 7h.
These things
Yes.
are
So
everywhere.
then yeah, I don't know how they are doing it. I've heard there are a couple of tools like babylon traffic, and I don't know how they do it, but yes,
It's an easy
they
tool to build, unfortunately, and I'm surprised we haven't endured more of this, but here we are.
yes. So that's one way to stay away from these websites. Please, guys, look at the traffic. It just takes 2 minutes more, and it's gonna save you probably $100 that you spend on the link. And with the how to detect manipulated DR, you go to Ahrefs again. What you do is you look at the domain rating graph of the website, you switch on the last 5 years report.
Okay.
And in the last 5 years report, if you see at any point of time, the DR goes from like DR has a 20-point increase within a week or 2 weeks, then it's been manipulated. I have used these gigs myself, and there's always a hockey stick growth within a very short period, like 1 week or 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
if there's a hockey stick growth at any point of time, then DR is manipulated and you are just overpaying for links. And one last thing that I would share with you guys is SEMrush. They used to be like this mediocre tool, but I really like their new metric. It's called authority score, and it takes into account the both the website's backlink profile strength, website's current traffic, and the spamminess of the backlink profile. So if we don't even consider the spamminess of the website, if we just see the backlink strength and the organic traffic, it has some algorithm that computes a single score. So how this helps is people use GR a lot, but DR doesn't tell you about how much traffic the website is getting according to its strength. But what SEMrush does is it takes into account if a website with this much backlink authority is getting more than average of its weight or less than average of its, like, if it's, yeah, doing better than the average or worse than the average according to its backlink profile in terms of the traffic it's pulling. So that's one quick way to assess the quality of links. If you're really short on time, you don't even have the time to look at both traffic and domain rating, just go with SEMrush authority score. So those are some ways that I think you can put to use right away. Yeah, you let me know if you have any questions for me.
Of course. So would you say it's not a good idea to do like a link building campaign, whether you're doing it in-house and earning it or you're paying for links and then you just stop and then a couple months later you start again? Is this like a bad
Mhm.
thing to avoid? Do you just want to be like try to have this weird flatline velocity where okay, it's going to go up, but just try to be consistent? Would you say that's more important or does it matter?
I As long as there's some kind of baseline backlinks that you are getting either naturally by doing it manually, you are good to go, because digital PR links, you tend to get a lot of links in a short amount of time. That doesn't hurt the website. Like, it doesn't hurt the website that they got a lot of links in 1 month and then they stopped getting that many links. So I don't think it's bad, as long as you are doing at least. I think most of the websites get some sort of links naturally as a baseline. They pick it up naturally. So I don't think it's a bad practice.
Okay. So you obviously know what we do, like StatsRun, because you actually gave us some really good help critiquing our kind of like our calls to action. So what would you do in our situation as we've got an okay DR, DA, we've got some good links. We're still building more, but a lot of it's been natural. What would your advice be to us and go, how do we, what should our link building strategy be?
Okay. So how have you looked into link exchanges so far?
I've done some of them. I'm actually planning to do more of them, but I'm trying to do it for a different reason. I always like links, but I'm actually sometimes a bit more interested in the traffic behind the link. For example,
Mhm.
if it's a website, I'm going to give an example like RevPanda. So RevPanda they do SEO, they do content translation. So they focus more in the iGaming space. They have a pretty good reputation. So they have real traffic. For me, I'm actually in this situation. I want the link because it's a signal from Google.
Mhm.
I'm actually more interested that I actually believe that the users that would click through it, let's say it's an article talking about affiliate marketing, that to me is they have my audience. So my top choice always is my audience. I have done some links where, and I actually like doing them. It's I go with Times of Malta. So I try to make an article that's maybe useful. So I will go all over the fence when it's top of funnel. I like middle of funnel, and I still also like doing bottom of funnel. So I like mixing it up, but I try to avoid top of funnel. Like I don't care to write about what's affiliate marketing. No. But what the things that we do as a company, we do things like post back dynamic variables. There's actually not a lot of really good content written about it. So I'm actually interested in probably diving a bit deeper and having people discover our content outside of us before coming in.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. in your space. So you are in the B2B space,
B2B.
basically. So in the B2B space, link exchanges work the best.
Okay.
They are the highest quality links out there. And you just, what I would say you do is you take links from guest post farms, you give those to your link partners and get the high quality links from the link partners to your own website. So first of all, there would be less of a footprint, and you are basically getting a $300 link for $50 because a guest post farm would sell you the link for $50, but a link from a legitimate website, that's like worth a lot. So that's the best way, I would say, for you guys. If you had prompted me, if you had given me some more time, I would have come up with more. Yes.
And a budget too.
Now, this you could B2B link building is pretty cheap, but it's not very scalable. The link
Yeah.
exchanges, it's not very scalable. Like after you get 100 or 150 links, you'll probably exhaust your pool of prospects.
Yeah. But I don't know about you, but when I ran affiliate sites and casino affiliate sites, getting links was like you almost always had to pay for them. In B2B, you can actually earn them. Like we've done some where I think Haro shut down. So we used Haro back in the day, and it's like we had some pretty awesome links. And I actually think for what we do as a company, we have an immense opportunity to get so many links because we can talk about SaaS, we can talk about affiliate marketing, we can get links from affiliate programs, affiliate websites themselves as potential customers. Like, I think if we were to spend some time mapping out what is a link building plan, I think we could probably build something out that's not just amazing, but then the second part is, all right, what are you going to prioritize and what's going to be executed?
I suppose you guys have a lot of proprietary data.
We actually
Uh,
have, yeah, quite a bit. Like, we don't see the data of our own customers, but we actually are aggregating lots of really weird stuff that no one's really talking about. To give you an
yeah.
example, we just published, we have integrations for about 1,500 gambling affiliate programs, and we have them broken down by software. So we actually have this list, and every month we're actually updating it daily, but every month we curate the list, and people are telling us all the time, they're actually going to our website to get this list, and they're trying to
Okay.
download, they're trying to scrape it, and in some situations, we actually just straight up email it to them. They're like, they're so grateful for it. So when we start publishing this stuff on LinkedIn, we've heard people, they've told us, they're like, I screenshotted your post and sent it to our Slack team. So that might
Mm.
not be ending up all the time on like a blog post, but that actually has happened. We've had one software called My Affiliates, and they basically said, according to our database, they were the most used gambling affiliate program software in iGaming, which I believe is true. So they basically did an article on it. And when they published it, 20 other industry news covered it. Like they all just covered it
Okay.
at the same time. We only got 2 or 3 links out of it, but we had about 20 brand mentions. Like every site mentioned our brand, which I'm happy about. Because if
Yes,
people
yes,
didn't know what StatsDrone is, we're all about the what is StatsDrone? Yeah, search for it.
yes, yes. Yeah, that makes sense. If you are more proactive about it and could make a story out of the data that you have,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
then you and then reach out to like the industry publication and the general news outlets, then
Yeah,
you could run a successful outreach, like a digital PR campaign. I wouldn't put it in the category of link building. For me,
yeah,
link building is because with link building you can get links to your target pages with, but you have to pay for those.
yeah.
But with the digital PR you can get really high quality links for free, but you don't have to pay for those.
Okay.
I differentiate between those, and I would suggest you guys will link exchanges and digital PR. Don't get into this thing, paid links. That's what I do because since you are bootstrapped, I suppose you don't have a lot of budget.
It's we're slowly building a budget for SEO. So it's not like we're zero budget, but for a couple of years we've had no budget. We've
Yeah,
had
I mean, in terms of ROI, because go to a webmaster, they see betting casino on your website, the alarms go off and they'll start charging you the casino price. They charge a different price for like
yeah.
linking out to casino websites as opposed to normal websites. So you'll end up paying more for no reason.
At least for us, they don't necessarily do that because they see us and they're like, okay, this is pure SaaS. So They don't always do that. Our audience is gambling affiliates, and we need to go, where are they? So I think what you're saying is a good point. We've got digital PR over here. We've got certain types of link exchanges, and we can put that in a box because there's 5 different ways of doing link exchanges. And then there's targeting pages that are actually valuable to us. Like we have a dynamic variables feature. We're launching a postback feature. So when people are looking for, like, how do I connect an API to this program? We need to start planting the seeds of content as links going outside. Yeah. Either you have ideas for that or we'll talk after the call and
Yes,
we'll see how we can formulate that and be good to do some work.
yes, definitely.
All right. I have no more questions, but I'm going to have more after the call. Yeah. I'm super interested in the stuff you're working on. There's actually a lot of amazing ideas here. I think a lot of these ideas could actually be taken over to affiliate managers. And I think some of these insights should be used by them. There needs to be training on this. So, Shaurya, I want to pass back to you. How can people get a hold of you?
You guys can head over to herculeanseo.com if you want to learn more about my method. It's called the fractionate link building method. There's a free training on the website. And if you want to connect, you can connect with me on Twitter. John is probably going to link to it.
I will.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll do that. And then that's going to be in the show notes. Shaurya, thank you so much for doing this. Really good catching up with you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for tuning in to the Affiliate BI podcast. I'd like to take this time to ask for a small favor to leave a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcast. That helps us expand our reach to rank higher in podcast directories and reach more listeners.